他好，已经开始了，有吗？
要贴给他，先贴给他。等一下。我贴他的位置。有吗？
試個 WiFi 好慢咯。
這個
好啦，我哋試到13點。嗱，我香港係香港人嚟喎，咁咪搞活動。佢嗰邊未夠鐘係一啲未，係佢好似未一啲未，唉死啦！我都未一啲未，你嗰啲曲啊，成曲唔同，即係收尾係得啦。咁我覺得呢啲買錢係咪啊？
现在还没那么强，那我宣传。有啊，你现在是已经这个了。
哦，好。
有，你现在已经是有步了。
有声音吗？
有这样听得到声音吗？
車仔都係你哋㗎嘛？
OK， 你觉得是太斜？我等下站那个位置看一下。差不多了。对，中间。可以。我觉得还好，对不对？因为我们也回答过。有可以啊。
喂，我们40分会开始，然后 Facebook， 然后 Facebook 我会开。对对，Facebook 有吗？
有吗？那你们就直接用，可以。
好，我係 CloudMile COO James。我廣東話唔係咁好，so I'll speak English or Mandarin before I make too many fun of myself. So I'm James, and I'm very happy to welcome you guys to join this afternoon's event. Unfortunately, there's slightly rainy here, so our original plan is actually we can even go out to enjoy the sunshine, the balcony, but it's too bad. So my team member Joe and Andy and myself, we are very lucky to attend the Google Next event this year in San Francisco. So this afternoon we are going to share a little bit of our learning and our finding in Google Next event. So the rundown agenda is very simple. So it will be Joe to talk about the next event's technical part, and I will address some of my findings from business perspective. I think you might be interested or need to be aware of what happened or what's development on the Google's announcement in Google Next event. Then Joe will also give us an update for the Google I/O event. That's also another important event from Google. So, and at the very last part of the session is, of course, some key takeaways for you to summarize about what we are talking about today, and then will be the networking session. So, I'll let Joe to introduce himself about who he is, and actually is kind of a guru in the GCP world, also a cute guru in a way. So I'll hand my microphone to Joe.
Actually have my own microphone. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for coming, everyone. So I got to introduce myself first. So I'm the customer engineer lead in CloudMile. So basically I do all the pre-sales, post-sales stuff in Hong Kong. And we are a company headquartered in Taiwan. So I have a team of experts, of cloud architect and data scientists sitting in Taiwan, help us to handle all the hard coding stuff, the difficult job. So let's cut the beginnings and let's jump into start right away. So this is like a 3 days event in San Francisco for Google Next. So we have a great opportunity to join everyone there. So it's a nice place, and we have a lot of update from it. If you actually take a look in the Google's website, you'll see a lot of stuff. I saw my colleague is showing some mouth shape to me, but I can't actually catch what you're trying to tell me. So tell me later, okay? Okay, so the technical stuff I would like to share will be cutting into major sections. The first part of it will focus in infrastructures innovations. The second part is more about the data and AI stuff. So let's start with the infrastructure stuff first. So if anyone is actually working with Google platform, you know that Google's cloud platform has the product called GCE, the Google Computation Engine, that is working amazingly fast. You can provision a VM by seconds, not minutes, not hours. So we also have a strong flexibility that we are allowing people to customize their own setting. Like you could add one more CPU or one more gigabyte of memory to virtual machines. So now you have more options now. Like for example, in the old days, if you have some computation-intensive workload, you still have to stick with some so-called generic purpose VM. Now we have a compute-optimized VM for Google Computer Engine. So it could help you to provision computation-incentive machines at like 60 vCPU and 240 gigabit of memory. So it's like amazing for some sequential workload. Like what? Like gaming or HPC. So if you have to process a lot of data, running something that should be running by one PC, this is a great choice. So the other new option that's actually adding to the range is it's called memory optimized VM. So Google Cloud is doing something that is start to attracting different type of enterprise workload in it. So one of the most important workload would be, sorry, just one haywire. Go back. Okay, yeah. So they're going to launch like a SAP, like a memory-intensive VM for like application like SAP HANA, which is like a memory-intensive machine that is looking for like 100 multiple gigabytes of memory. So this would be a great choice. So although I'm telling you about this, they are not yet available in Hong Kong region. So far, it's available in US regions only. So you got to take care of it, but have a mind that this is coming to Google soon as possible. That they will deliver this to you soon. And something more about the infrastructure organization stuff. So we are going to launch a sole tenants node. So what is this about? So it's like in a normal VM environment, usually most of customers using like a solution like this. So your VM somehow is sitting in the same hypervisor with the other customer. So we can have a higher utilization. You could enjoy a lower cost. However, some kind of workload is not allowed running like this. For example, some application that is asking you to have a dedicated CPU, dedicated hardware. Usually they're enterprise application like SQL Server, Oracle Server. They're counting the right number of physical core, counting stuff like this. Or you have some strong compliance requirements. Sometimes you need a sole tenant host. So this is where you need to take this kind of option in mind. So this is coming to Google soon for US region. So take a look at that. So after we talk about the free VM options in the previous slides, you will notice that Google Cloud is migrating to a new era that's focused on enterprise workload. So they're ready to get customers that is running their enterprise workload on premises, getting the enterprise applications like Windows SQL Server and manage the service of Active Directory. So this is something really big for Hong Kong customers. Active Directory have a crazy dominance market share in Hong Kong, much more than any part of the world, I believe that. So this managed service for Active Directory will enable us to just put your Active Directory up and running in Google, and you don't need to manage the underlying hardware or any configuration, any patching work. So it is all managed by Google. So be very careful about this service. If your boss is asking, you know this is an option here. So the other part about enterprise is Enfo. So Enfo is, if you're looking at the Enfo, Google's Cloud update or anything about Google, Enfo is coming again and again and again on their newsletter or any publications. So this is their hybrid cloud solutions. So if you have to take a look at the other cloud solution, you might notice some words like Outpost, Stack from the other competitor of Google. Enfo is providing something different. We are providing a Kubernetes-focused solution that is a containerized solutions that help you to actually migrating your application from a monolithic design into a containerized microservice-focused design. So this is another service we will actually try to take a focus into. So another one thing I would like to share before jumping into the data stuff is Cloud Run. So when we actually try to use like a container service, we still actually maybe sometimes still managing the cluster like the Kubernetes cluster, or if you're running on Docker or anything else. So Cloud Run is something different. So you just need to provision your application now. You just get your application containerized and then just put it in Cloud Run. Everything would be handled by Google's Cloud Run service. So how it works, like you just need to containerize your applications, you just post it on Cloud Run. Cloud Run will help you to scale your service from 0 containers to multiple thousands of containers, just according to your settings. And you don't need to take care about anything about underlying hardware. So this is like the best part about the infrastructure stuff. This should be kind of boring if you're looking for like data or more like data science stuff. So the exciting stuff is coming up. So we could just take it as a warm up if you don't like infrastructure at all. Okay. So about the data, so wow, this is kind of a boom to me. Just sit back hearing the keynotes and getting all the updates in like a 2 days event. I'm like super exciting. I'm also a hands-on data scientist. So I do my machine learning development modeling stuff on a Jupyter notebook at my own PC or MacBook like everyone else. Maybe you have something better than me at the moment. But Google is bringing something much more to us as a data science or data scientist or data engineer, or you're just maybe like a SQL user, just like a database administrator. They're actually bringing data science to people like this. So let's start from the very beginning stuff. So I should start with the AI solutions update. First, Google is doing AI from everything. Like if you're doing the Google search or anything, they're putting AI in everything, including like if you just open your Google Chrome, you try to press the first character in it, it starts to predict. It's called autocomplete stuff. So it's a part of the machine learning. So Google is trying to package everything they're doing into some customized API for us. So this is the customer contact center AI. So in last year's Google I/O, I think everyone heard about that. They're using the Dupex. Dupex is like the crazy robot that trying to make an outgoing call to help you to book a table on behalf of you. And the other side of the guy could not even notice this is a robot or people. We call it a Turing test passed, right? Okay. So this year we're actually doing this we're putting the contact center AI as a standalone service for customers. So we could start to actually implement some we would say the predefined solutions. You don't need to actually put all the AI components from scratch into something. So it's like more like a pre-built solution that you could actually use it more like right away. And the other funny thing is the document understanding AI. So everyone, maybe not everyone, if you're using a phone from like an Android phone, you notice service like Google Lens or you use like a stock camera. Basically, they have embedded stuff like this into your camera. So you could just take a photo, you will try to scan your photo and see what's there. Maybe this is a medical document, maybe it's an Excel file, maybe it contains something like your credit card number or some important personal data. It would actually understand it for you. So how do we actually utilize this in your production environment? You could put it in your like a document library or your promotion stack. You could actually scan everything and then help you to tag it. So you make more metadata and make the file more searchable, and it could also enable you to doing stuff like machine learning by adding more features to your data. So as I mentioned before, they're putting more stuff to BigQuery. So Google is trying to doing stuff like this. They are trying to helping data scientists to do their job in an easy way. They are also trying to do a job like helping non-data scientist professional to get a taste about machine learning in an easy way. So you can see the architecture of BigQuery easily, like with BigQuery could ingest data from different type of Google service. It's like a great integration with the other Google-based service like Cloud Data Flow, Cloud Storage, and Cloud PubSub. So what is actually happening here? Like something real time is happening, like again, somebody is doing something, maybe just a top player just killed the other top players, just a hypothesis, okay? And then some event, this event happened using the Google Cloud PubSub. Google Cloud PubSub is like a Kafka-like service. It's publishing events and pushing the events into Cloud Data Flow. So Cloud Data Flow is like a serverless version of Hadoop. It helps you to transform the data and actually doing everything on behalf of the user and try to stream everything in the BigQuery. So on the left-hand side, it's more like your data engineer work. So if I'm just like a SQL user in a traditional sense, so how could I actually benefit from this? So Google is launching multiple enhancements on BigQuery. BigQuery is something really, really successful at the moment. If you're actually talking with the IT leader in Hong Kong, they are pretty impressive about BigQuery's performance. They are basically outperformance their competitor by minutes. Like we could do a search on billions row of data and get a feedback in a minute. When our competitor may be still taking 5 minutes or 10 minutes to run the result, you could already starting to doing something else. So in this year, we launched multiple enhancements on BigQuery. So the first one is BigQuery machine learning. So this is something very funny. So if you are like a SQL engineer, so you could read this from this line easily, like the traditional select statement, select from something, select some field from certain table, some records, and then run the result easily. Now you just need to write your SQL in a little bit different way. Just adding these two lines. Actually, they follow the SQL syntax. Basically, just need to learn a few more keywords like create model. So, and then stating that which model are you looking for. Oh, this say logistic regression. And then you could just create a model like this in minutes, not hours. It's a good way to help company to have a quick and great taste about the usage of machine learning. So you guys could actually test it out like immediately without actually need to ask like, oh my dear data scientist, do you have some time to help me to check it out, build a model for me? No, you could just build it by yourself, evaluate the effectiveness or accuracy of this model, and actually put it in production if you want. So it is not just something experimental, it's actually something that you could take it home, you could use it and actually put in production platform right now. So this is another nice tools, and they're putting much more things into BigQuery now. The other stuff is called a GIS. So GIS actually is like geographically information system. So it could actually works well with Google Cloud, Google Map platform. So you could actually doing stuff like geographical data, put it into BigQuery and make visualization or spatial requests in the BigQuery now. Another one very exciting innovation is the BI engine. So if you have using the other BI tools like Tableau or Quake, anything like this, they're actually doing stuff like they're putting all your data in memory. So the result is like if you actually try to put in a Tableau production environment, you notice that you need at least 3 very gigantic VM in any cloud to actually keep it up and running, because it's like a memory-intensive service. You're looking for a strong CPU, a lot of hard drive space. So BigQuery is helping you to do this by managed service. So if you have like a future visualization workload, you could just rely on BigQuery BI. So it will help you to do stuff like keeping everything in memory to improve the speed of the query and helping you to do the visualization without additional hardware. So this is like a total serverless solution. You could just get it started and actually start to use it with a Data Studio. You could enjoy the performance right away. So it's like a long, big chart here. What I just want to mention is about a new service called Data Fusion. So if anyone here actually doing data science stuff like on a Jupyter Notebook or on Excel sheet, anything? Anyone? You? Good. Excel or data or notebook? Notebook. Okay. Okay. Good. So it's nice. So you're actually writing code to do stuff like injections, data transformation, data cleansing, everything all by the codes, right? You need to learn something actually. If you remember the learning curve about doing this, it should be, maybe it's very easy for you, but it's not easy for me. It takes me like months to actually know how to use those libraries, importing the right size of NumPy, anything, all the right stuff to actually tuning the data. We call manipulation and this stuff. So Data Fusion is actually helping us to do this with a graphical interface. So what you need to do is some drag and drop stuff like Excel or pivot table, and then you could actually do the data injections and data enrichment and data processing job by using this graphical interface. So you don't need to actually write a library or find a way to actually ingest the data by code. Just using a graphical interface, you don't need to write any single line of code. You could do all the data injection, enrichment, processing, and storage. So this is something you should looking at and give it a try. So after you doing the Cloud Data Fusion job, it will actually produce script for the data processing or data flow. So this is like an interface to help you to define your job in an easier way, so we could actually use more Google Cloud Service in an easier way. So basically, cloud data processing and cloud data flow is already there like for years, but this is still require more coding. Like if you're using data flow, you need to know about Apache Beam or Airflow. If you want to do with cloud data processing, you are a Hadoop engineer. So if you are not both of them, you should try to start to use Data Fusion to get a taste about how these things work. So the other funny innovation about the machine learning is the AutoML table. So maybe not everyone heard about AutoML and don't know how AutoML works. Basically, AutoML is helping us to use pre-built model to train your data in Google's way. So basically, you don't actually know how Google train your data or how many layers, but you still need Now, basically, it works with structured data. So how is structured data like a table of data? So as something, you could put it in an Excel. So it should be like a structured way, like you have 5 columns of data and 20 rows of data. Of course, if you're actually doing machine learning, you need much more data to actually get a better model. So AutoML table is actually helping us to do stuff like feature engineering, model selection, and hyperparameter tuning. So it takes time to run the results. Like in different kind of service, basically they might have similar results. Like we mentioned about the BigQV, they also running some quick machine learning. We could create a model in it. So what's the difference between AutoML table and BigQV machine learning? AutoML table is looking for accuracy, precision stuff. So basically, when you actually start to train your model, it will do the hyperparameter tuning. If you're doing the hands-on machine learning or data science stuff, hyperparameter tuning is some time-consuming and computation-heavy job. So whenever you're submitting a model, it takes like 10 minutes or an hour to actually run the results for you. So it's a different service and looking for different results. So usually it's like a more like a data scientist-centric service. The other stuff is kind of exciting for me. It's like they're rolling out like a fully managed data science lifecycle called AI platform. The upper side of it is what I mentioned about. So basically, in your old days, you use a lot of tools to do the data science stuff. Maybe you are using an Excel or CSV file to do the data labeling, adding a manual label to the data. You build your own deep learning image. Some people using PyTorch, some use TensorFlow, somebody use everything, like the carrier, scikit-learn, everything. So Google is actually helping us to put everything inside this here. So if they have a full stack tools for data scientists, you could do everything on Google now. So including funny service called the notebooks. So Google is actually helping us to manage the notebook environment like a Jupyter Lab. So you could just fire up a Jupyter Lab that is coming with all the libraries, all the dependencies required, instead of actually building everything by yourself. So this is something quite different for it. Of course, it's like everything is like fully integrated with the other Google service. So you could just simply use a line of code to actually get the data from BigQuery. You could run the data transformation job in Dataflow. You could do the data cleansing job by data prep. And you could use Hadoop or Spark by using data process and visualize everything by the Google Data Studio. And the other funny stuff is the AI Hub. This is something that Google is doing to help us to share our results, like what Google is doing like in the past decades. I'm not sure if everyone knows about it. TensorFlow is actually open source by Google like a few years ago. And basically, Hadoop or like the big data platform is also referencing to the other Google open source playbook. So basically, if we are having Hadoop or similar service today, basically everything comes from Google. So today they're using a service called AI Hub to help us to share things like Google in a Google's way. So AI Hub is more like, I should do an analogy, it's much easier to understand. So if Android's Play Store is somewhere that you are putting the application sharing to everyone, AI Hub is the other version of Play Store that help you to share. Maybe not just share, it's actually, you can help you to monetize your model on Google. So you could basically putting stuff there and actually selling to the other users. So it helps to democratize the machine learning stuff. So you could build a model and actually try to sell it to the other people on a Google service. So this is something great for machine learning and data scientists. So you could actually leverage what you have done to your company and sell it to the other one in need. So this is like the most funniest part about the data platform and the infrastructure. In the later part, I'll share about the Google I/O stuff. But before that, I'll share have the business sharing to handle it for James to tell it us. Okay, why are you taking a souvenir? Are you going to send a gift to them?
It's not for you, Joe.
Okay.
Thanks Google that they help us to make this event more interesting and more interactive. So anyone has a question with Joe or for Joe about the infrastructure or data scientist part? Anyone? I think we have a smaller group here, or some people are behind the screen. So anyone? Yeah.
So how easy or difficult to use the AutoML? I just wonder if your experience on using the AutoML, how good or how difficult it is for someone with technical.
I would say that if you don't know, you don't actually know about like neural network or anything like convolution neural network stuff like this. Basically, you're not sure about what are you running with AutoML. So AutoML everything sounds auto, right? But actually, it needs quite a lot of literacy about machine learning from the bottom. So the service principle is like that. You should just need to provide a labeled data set, and then you could just submit the model to AutoML. It could try to help you to build a model, to help to do all the feature engineering and doing all the hyperparameter tuning on behalf of the customer. However, if you do not have the understanding about how the model works, you may fall into a trap that you do not know how to evaluate how the model actually is performing. So we always recommend our customer work with a Google partner like us. So CloudMile is a company that's actually doing the hands-on machine learning and building custom-built data machine learning model on behalf of customers. So this is a good option sometimes. So some customer will try to do stuff like, I just label my data set. Maybe say I have a data set of 10 millions of row of data. I label it, I just push it on AutoML to see if anything good comes out. If not, so you may need a custom model. So this is how AutoML actually works today. So is it difficult to use? I don't think so. It's like have a simple lines of code. You just need to submit your job to AutoML and then wait for the result. So it should be kind of straightforward. And if this is a data scientist job, it should be like super easy. If it's like for data science learner, it might take something like an hours of documentation reading, and then they could pick it up and running easily. Thank you. Any more questions about the infrastructure, data science?
You have a page?
Did you give it? Yeah. Hi.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm just wondering for the upcoming, what kind of regular enhancement in terms of Google Cloud when you went to the conference there, they have been offering some upcoming enhancements for the platform.
For the investment?
For the infrastructure.
For the infrastructure. So I think for the infrastructure innovation, it should be kind of going through a process that is, because Google Cloud is something pretty new already. So if you actually try to use stuff like Google Cloud, Google Computation Engine, you could start up a virtual machine like by seconds. And basically, it is already taking a much advanced step than the other cloud service. So basically, they are focusing on doing something different. So they are trying to helping our customer to move their workload from on-premises. So they have Anthos, they have Kubernetes engines, they have different type of migration tools coming that helping our customer to how to migrate their workload from their on-premises VM into Google Cloud in the easiest way. So they're not going to reinvent the computation engine in a short time, I believe, because they're already running at the stage of stuff. So the focus should be on the migration stuff. So they have taken over a company called Velostrat. So it's like a migration tools. They're helping us to doing the VM to VM migration, that is using an on-premises VM going to GCE. And they also have an option that you could migrating from a VM into a container. So it's like we call it V to K. This is containerized application. So the focus or the futures of the infrastructure stuff should be focused on container, serverless. This should be the trend and the focus you should look at. Thank you.
So one more back for the next, one last questions. We have one for AI machine learning, one for infrastructure.
Any questions?
Anything? Yeah, just show him down.
Try anything, actually, anything. Do we have some more interesting?
So we have more. We prefer the water bottle.
We got water bottle?
Or is there anything that you would like to know during the Google Next?
You mentioned that there will be some managed service for Microsoft other than AD and SQL. Right?
Yeah, SQL.
So I know that there's some cloud platform like AWS and Microsoft have that kind of service too. So can you give us some comparison or what's the advantage?
Okay. So first thing first, what's the advantage about putting stuff in Google? It's the computation engine. So basically, Google have the state-of-art hardware, strong pricing advantage. So basically, running anything on Google could enjoy this kind of advantage. So taking the service from, we call that leading this service into Google Cloud is helping our customer to complete their whole ecology. Because company in Hong Kong or in the other regions, they might build some stuff on Microsoft technology like for decades. They're not easy to convert everything from, okay, how could we actually move away from SQL Server? We heard that PostgreSQL is actually compatible with the SQL Server. But however, in the reality world, we'll notice that not everything actually works and fully compatible. So we try to actually help our customer to manage those services on behalf of them. So taking the Microsoft technology into the Google Cloud is actually helping the customer to minimize the migration frictions. So worst to worst, they could just actually forklift everything into Google Cloud. But we want to leverage or more workload from customers. For example, like why do we actually have Cloud SQL service from the very beginning? We don't want our customer to spend their time about the virtualized infrastructure, the hypervisor, the database patching job. So we want to leverage everything from the customer. That's why we're actually having the Cloud SQL service. So adding SQL Server into the rank is part of a necessary job to strike even playground with the other cloud. So the other cloud service also provides similar service like the SQL Server and stuff like this. So I'm not going to actually comment about their technology or stuff, but I could confidently tell you Google Cloud have the best hardware for the virtualized machine to run. So you could actually try to compare the performance about that. And Google is actually doing more about the Microsoft solution or the other enterprise application. Now you could basically customize everything, like the CPU core, and flattening. So quite a lot of enterprise applications have concern about that. So take a look at it. If you're actually running some Microsoft workload today, you could start to take a look about how to migrating everything into Google Cloud like now. This is what we're trying to do by innovating this part of service. I hope that could settle your question. Thank you. So this should be all for this part. I'll ask to James for a little bit like a business update for CloudMile. Thank you.
Okay. So I think that's the, let's let Joe take a rest a little bit so he can prepare for more questions in the next session. So my part will be more business perspective. I'm not a technical guy, so why I attend Google Next is actually I want to know what Google announced this year for the new product or new services. Why that is very important, because for example, if you are a big enterprise or big corporate, you would also, I think, would love to know what is going on. And if there's new product or new services announced or launched by Google, it will make your purchase behavior or your product selection or vendor selection is even more easier. If you are SMBs or you are kind of a relatively smaller corporation, it's also very, very important because you might want to develop your own services. You might want to develop your own products. But just to please be very cautious. Don't put your company in front of Google. They are big shark, they are big giant. If they have something ready, and actually that's already on your product development plan, try to skip it. Because Google, I think most of the time, they'll do the job better than other people. So, what's the announcement for the new service or product this year? We try to categorize. They actually belong to these few categories. Number one, infrastructure modernization. Of course, I think Joe already mentioned that a little bit. I also highlight what is important from our finding. Data management and smart analytics is also very important related to the AI or machine learning. Application development is always important, though Joe will also mention what's new on Google I/O. But actually, Google Next also announced a lot of important new release related to application development. Work transformation. Some people say, "Oh, that will be something about Gsuite or Chrome." Yes, not 100% yes. Work transformation or digital transformation is always very important for big corporate and also SMBs. Because for me, CloudMile is, we are SMBs, if you call us, but we also put a lot of emphasis or efforts on the digital transformation or make ourselves very digital. So the work transformation, and that's something we also help people to do the job. Security is always very important. This year, they also announced a lot of security issues or service or products. So, infrastructure modernization, I am not going to read through everything because, okay, come on, there's 3 days event, and in each hour, I think there will be more than 10 breakout sessions all the time. So we won't cover them, all of them within 1 or 2 hours. But I would like to highlight a few points to get your attention. Memory optimized VMs, they are in alpha stage. So it's up to 12 terabytes RAM. I still remember last year we helped one of our clients to use 1 terabyte VM for a very specific purpose. But the 12 terabyte RAM VM is now in alpha. So I think Joe also mentioned about that. It's kind of a preparation for the SAP HANA integration, or you can do that. Oops. So and GC's Windows bring your own license. Right now you can actually bring your own Microsoft Windows license and SQL license to Google Cloud. That is in the beta stage. Then the managed service for Microsoft's Active Directory, that's 80. I still remember that when the Google announced, I forgot which executive, when they announced this, actually the people on the seat is actually a lot of people jumping because now 80 is here, so you can leverage that. It's although it's in alpha, but I think it will be coming to GA very soon. So infrastructure, I would like to highlight these 3 parts for your attention. Data management, the fully managed service Cloud SQL for the SQL Server. I think that's something a lot of people might have some different kind of opinion about Cloud SQL, but the SQL Server is in alpha stage right now. Big table, I think a lot of people talk about big table. The Cloud Big Table replication means you can actually across multiple zones within one single data center, or even across region, which means different data center. So you can make your data across the world be accessible. Also have others, but I will not go into read it through. Small analytics. NLP engine, Google Cloud Natural Language API, they just announced that it's also in GA for the Japanese language and Russian. I think that's also 2 big market in the world. So if your team or if your staff is working on this, be cautious. Come on, go already did that. And they have a enhancement for the natural language APIs. So everything is on the invoice or on the receipt. It's actually what we did before. We actually helped one of our clients to use natural language platform, and because in that time Google didn't do that so detailed about the receipt and invoice. So right now they already have an enhancement for that. Anything for the receipt and invoice, they can recognize it the NLP process. Retail part. Hong Kong is famous, and retail is one of a very important industry. So recommendation AI, visual product search service for the retail is already GA. Yep. So the retail solutions. In the value chains of all the retail sector, recommendation, estimation, visual, product search, everything is ready. So be cautious and please be reminded that part is ready, or there's a solution here in Google Cloud. Application development. So the GK on-prem, so it used to be only on the Google Cloud, on the cloud world only, but right now the GKE is, well, actually you can put that for the on-prem services. You might have heard that before, but this year is already, right now it's already GA. Work transformation, I would just highlight the Chrome browser, cloud management. So if your companies actually want to kind of have more management on the browser stuff, right now there's already GA. Next slide, please. Security. Of course, there are a lot of new stuff. I would like to highlight this one, the security key built into your Android phone. So the security can actually generate it on your Android phone nowadays. So you will be enhancement for your for the security part. So be cautious and be reminded this is actually happening, and you can use your Android phone as one of your security control method. So a lot of people still don't know CloudMile too much. So allow me to just use 2 slides. I promise to be 2 slides only. Who we are, what we do. So CloudMile is actually, I always told people that we did 3 things or 3 pillars. One is cloud, so that's why we are Google Cloud Premium Partner. And one is data, and one is AI. A lot of people come to us and say, James or CloudMile, can you help us do the AI? Yes, of course, but where is your data? Do you have sufficient data? Do you have clean or structured data? So we'll go to the data part. But where are you going to store your data? Where are you going to use your computing power instead of your laptop or the servers in your office? Then cloud could be a very good solution or suggestion. So cloud, data, and AI is always kind of three pillar. We try to help our customers or clients to put their service on the cloud, help them to do the data analytics, and help them to do the AI or machine learning stuff. For AI, of course, TensorFlow is always what we would recommend people to do. Because why? Because you can use a TensorFlow processing unit, TPU, in Google Cloud. That will be 8 times or 5 times faster than the normal GPUs. And for the cloud, and for the data part, why Google Cloud is kind of our only choices, because I think most of your service or the application, if you use mobile application, will have the GA embedded to try to understand the user behavior or the web browser behavior. But GAs actually can integrate with the Google Cloud service called BigQuery. So you can link it with each other to generate better AI or better prediction or recommendation solutions or approach. And overall, we can help you to do the change management. And always forgot, it's very important, the Google Maps. CloudMile is also carry Google Maps to help our customer to use Google Maps. Why? Google Maps is, I always tell people, map is not only map. It's not only an application on your website or your mobile app. Behind the map, there's a lot of geographic data, which is easy to be forgotten. And I'll say not everyone or not too many people in the market, they try to use Google Maps, geographic data or geodata, try to do the analytics stuff, and try to even use them to do the prediction or the data analytics for the AI or machine learning. So please do, if I can remind people that do not underestimate the power of Google Maps. The geographic data is huge. The market or the opportunity is always there. So for the cloud part, just try to summarize a little bit. It's not only cloud, but also Google Maps, Gsuite. What we actually can do from day to day is actually number one is invoicing. I think some of you might using Google Cloud already, but you pay by your credit card or pay by your manager's credit card, your company's credit card. But if there's credit card, there's always a credit limit issue, the expiry of the card. So we can help you to do the invoicing job. AI and machine learning is also one of our kind of key solution want to provide to our customers. We actually can do from, okay, if you have a data science team, and of course, our data science team can help you to we can do the joint development for the algorithms, or if some of our clients actually their business is very sensitive, so we don't touch the algorithm at all. We can still help for them to help them to put the TensorFlow algorithms from on-prem service to the cloud. That will be very slightly different. In the on-prem or on their own service, they usually buy GPUs. And when they bought their first GPU card, or their second GPU card, and then they realize that they should put that on the cloud, and we can help them for that. Or if your team or your company don't have the luxury to hire a sufficient data science team, then our team can help you to build up the algorithms for you based on the TensorFlow, or sometimes, of course, we use R or Python as well. Sometimes the demand or the use case do not require to build up everything from scratch. So, of course, we use a lot of Google APIs together, and we use our own touch to build up the AI or machine learning solutions for you instead of they build everything from scratch. That's for the AI and machine learning part. Cloud architecture design, I think we didn't mention that too much, but actually that's kind of, a lot of people want us to help them to do the hybrid cloud design. or the cloud to on-prem service, this kind of hybrid cloud design, and also do the migration part, help them to move from cloud to cloud, or from on-prem service to cloud, or try to build up the HA, or try to build up the hybrid cloud in on-prem systems. Securities, we are not the security expert, but we actually, our approach is help you or help your compliance team to understand the different compliance of different Google Cloud or cloud services to make at least you to conquer the challenge from your compliance team. I use that way because a lot of time our business user or the developer in the client side, they come to us and everything is cloud-gated part, AI machine learning part, everything is smooth. It's meet their target, meet their requirement, but they always got a challenge from the security team or compliance team. We can also help on that. Data analytics, of course, is also the preparation for the AI or machine learning. We also help one of the big organizations here in Hong Kong to dealing with data, labeling, classification, that kind of stuff. Corporate training, let me also bring up Joe's interesting part. Joe is right now the only GCP certified trainer in the world who can speak Cantonese. So I don't speak Cantonese well, so if you need the training, Google certified training in Cantonese, you will see Joe's face. But of course, we can also provide, because Google's certified training, they have a very specific syllabus, the slide you cannot change, it should be in English, everything they will have their standard. But a lot of times, our client might have a very specific need. I need to just want to know a very specific element of a Google Cloud or a very specific element of data scientist. Then we can also do this kind of tailor-made training for you guys. Support, no matter it's 5 to 8 or 7 class 24, we now provide support for our customers based on different kind of SLAs. So I think that's my part. Slightly share what I discovered or what I found in Next in the business perspective, and also a brief introduction of who we are, who CloudMile is. CloudMile's headquarters in Taiwan. We have an office here in Hong Kong and an office in Singapore. So we actually, Hong Kong office, actually here we serve Hong Kong and Macau, of course. We also help some of our Chinese, mainland China clients to more on their exporting business. Because if you are trying to use in cloud in China, that will be slightly another story. So we help Chinese customers when they want to expand their business to Southeast Asia or around the world. Google Cloud is, of course, I think will be the only choice or the best choice for them. So yeah, that will be my part. And I think Joe is already take a good rest. So let's try him for different kind of questions. But before that, I think Joe is going to share what is finding on the Google I/O and the new stuff from Google I/O. So I'll hand over my mic to Joe. Thanks.
Okay, so we have some stuff about what is actually about CloudMile. So what are we actually sharing about Google I/O? So Google I/O is basically focused on Android or Google Search or all the other products of Google. But if you notice it deeply, basically Google I/O is a showcase of all Google technology available on Google Cloud. So basically, Google is trying to do this, like they're innovating and putting stuff in their own application, so it will show up on Google I/O. And like a few quarters later or few days later, it will be available on Google Cloud. So that means you could assembling all the stuff on Google Cloud and putting it like a service rolled out by Google. So let's see what Google actually putting for us to use. So the very first one, maybe if you have Android phone only, They are going to launch the Android Q by the coming quarters. So it's amazing new OS update as James also updated about. It's going to integrate the Fido key. So before the Fido key, basically we are using a physical dongle. There's a USB key, plugging it in the Chromebook or anything, to doing it as a two-step sign-on. So after Android Q, you could use this. Just use your mobile phone as the key to sign. So Android Q's full name is still pending. We don't know which one. We just know it's the name of like P is pipe, H for honeycomb, stuff like this. So one exciting stuff is they are actually putting AR, this augmented reality on the Google search. On the Google I/O, they are trying to search something like people's hand. So you could see the 3D model of what you're searching, and then you can actually put it in some place, like on your backyard, or put it on a table to take a look at the 3D model. You could walk around, check it out to see the feature or the detail of it. So this is a very funny application of it. They're going to put it in the Google Map soon. So you could actually see, okay, which corner I should turn. It will have a real big arrow showing up in the sky, and use it safely and wisely. Some people asking me how do I actually use it by looking at the phone and walking towards the arrow. It's super dangerous. So I don't think this application is very nice, but it's kind of gimmick and kind of funny. So the other application we talk about is Google Lens. Okay, what is Google Lens? In the earlier section, I shared about Google Lens. So it's like a camera application. It looks at stuff like some wordings. It could do the real-time recognition for you. So it knows what is it watching. In this year's Google I/O, they bring two new friendly features to it. Like the first one is it could recognize a receipt. Like when we have a lunch or a dinner, it could recognize that how many people are eating, what is the total sum of the bill, and it will calculate everything on behalf of you. Like we just need to pay one more dollars tips, and then we could split the bills by $20 per person. So it's kind of a funny application that is actually using the document understanding AI and some math regression model to making it to round up to the best number to make it an even share. The other funny one is Google Lens is actually integrating with service like Google Search and Google Maps. It could actually read a food menu, and then it could identify which food is actually the top seller in the shop. And then it will help you to link stuff into the other Google service like the Google Search or Google Map. So it's actually taking everything from Google and trying to doing it in one application. And the other very exciting tool is live caption. So maybe you said caption is kind of something old, right? But it's live. So how it works, like today, I'm doing the YouTube live here. Some user in the YouTube could click on a service called captions, and Google will actually it's transcribing everything I'm talking into text to make it a caption. So people have difficulty to hear my lousy English, or even maybe they have audio impairment, they have difficulty actually hearing anything. They could read the caption and knowing what are we actually talking about now. So it's a very funny application. You could even doing the live caption on your phone now. So maybe in the future you could do it on your audio call or Hangouts or any voice application. If you have a difficulty you don't need to say pardon, please speak again. You can just read your phone to see he just said this word. I think it means something else. So this is a very exciting feature. This is coming to your phone soon. So the other very exciting and funny application of contact center AI that is Duplex on the web. So in the last year, it's like the demonstration is kind of straightforward. It helps you to order a table on behalf of you. This year, we call it Duplex Last year, we should call it duplex on the phone. This time it's duplex on the web. So this year, you could using the Google Assistant and tell him, I want to book a car, something like this. You just speak. And then it will just help you to locate your favorite car rental service. It go inside there and it help you to fill up the form on behalf of you. You walk through every part of the form, like your first name, your last name, your address, your favorite color of choice of car. Maybe you prefer a Lexus over a Honda. What kind of service are you actually looking for? The time period, everything. It helps you to fill up all this stuff. So it's kind of like a robo form in the early stage, but it actually helps you to leverage the voice assistant to take it to the next level. So it's not only coming to your phone, it's also coming to the other voice assistant, like including the Google Home Hub, stuff like this, or any voice-based device. So we are going to the key takeaway sections. Since this is like a Hong Kong event, I would do the key takeaway in Cantonese to make things easier, right? 有冇人識聽廣東話嘅？我再問一次，有冇人識聽廣東話？冇 ，OK， 我哋可以用廣東話嘗試做一個簡單嘅 recap， 希望傳神啲大家可以容易啲 get 到多少少。其實呢3日嘅 event 加埋 Google I/O 其實真係有一個好大嘅信息量可以攞翻。咁但係咧，就算係 Google 自己或者係香港嘅 Google 啦，其實都從來冇人特別同我哋講咁 overall 大家去緊邊度？到底 Google 嚟緊會有幾特別？有幾值得我哋去投資我哋嘅時間或者我哋嘅資源去將所有嘅 workload 擺喺 Google 度？我哋睇到有幾個好有趣嘅 insight， 就係咧。由第一日開始，其實我哋收到好多嘅資訊，就係 Google 開始做多咗好多 enterprise。大家都知 Google 係咩公司啊 ？Google 好 NASA 啊，好 SpaceX 或者 Rockstar， 即係佢哋係啲科學家 rocket scientist。佢哋就好中意自己 invent 一啲嘢，之後就叫大家試下用啦，我哋好勁咁啊。咁但係咧近年佢哋開始就做多咗啲就係貼地啲嘅事，我哋叫做就係咁大家我哋 Google 套嘢有幾勁 ，Google Cloud 佢有幾靚都好，我都仲係有啲 Microsoft 嘢喺度噶嘛。咁我點搬上嚟啊？我用唔到就係用唔到噶咯。咁近年咧佢就尤其是今年就做多咗好多同 enterprise 或者叫傳統嘅 infrastructure provider 嘅合作。大家之前聽到嘅 Anthos 啊，或者係MS SQL 嘅 migration 嘅 solution， 其實都係向緊呢個方向嘅。咁 Anthos 就同咩人合作咧？我 Anthos 嘅 hardware 嘅 provider 係有好多傳統嘅 infra provider， 由 Dell 啊、HP 啊、Cisco 啊呢類，大部分都係今日而家係坐喺你嘅 data centre 佔最 dominant 嘅 share 嘅 hardware。咁同佢哋嘅合作就可以令到嚟緊嘅 Google Cloud 嘅 migration， 即係更加多人就會可以 ready 到做到一個 hybrid cloud 嘅 segment， 將更加多嘅 workload 係可以好簡單、好舒服咁搬到上 Google Cloud。咁呢個我睇到一個好明顯嘅趨勢，佢哋想做到嘅嘢。咁能夠 run 到 MS 嘅 workload 其實係一個好基本嘅嘢嚟嘅，坦白講。即係頭先大家都有 question 咁有幾特別？其實我覺得冇乜特別嘅，坦白講，就係令到佢可以同其他 cloud 有一個相同嘅 compatibility 嘅 level， 就係大家可以將自己所有嘅 workload 都可以搬到上。咁另外就係一啲 tools 嘅選擇啦。之前大家如果嘗試過做一個 cloud migration， 有冇人而家其實已經 run 緊 workload 喺 AWS 或者 GCP 或者 Azure 都有幾個咁係。其實話就話 cloud migration， 大家好多時嘅經驗，其實我喺 cloud 度着個 VM 之後由頭做過啦。好多時候都係發生嘅事都係咁。冇幾多次大家係可以真係覺得撳個掣就 migrate 到，其實係接近係唔會發生嘅呢件事係。咁Google 特登收購咗一個呢個咁樣嘅 tools for 就係可以真係幫到大家，譬如 VM 真係成隻搬入去係可以做得幾 smooth 嘅效果嘅。咁大家可以嘗試下，真係揾隻 當然啦，唔會叫大家揾隻 production 嘅 server 咁搬咗試下死咗有佢，唔會嘅。咁啊試下做 development 啊，或者係一啲 testing 嘅 environment， 試一次用 Illustrator 去真係將個 workload 嘗試將佢搬入 VM farm 啦，或者將佢搬入 container farm 嗰度，就可以睇到呢個 tools 喺將來你嚟講真正一個full scale 嘅 migration 就可以見到嗰個效果。有啲Google 嘅 showcase 話咗俾我哋知，有啲上千隻 VM 嘅 migration 嘅 case 都可以用到呢個 tools 去做。咁所以我哋喺個 scale 上，我哋相信佢可以做到類似嘅效果。咁頭先都有講過啲 VM option 啦。VM option 呢一 part 其實對 enterprise 嘅 workload 嚟講係好緊要，即係可能大家平時係用其他 application 或者係只係 develop 啲 application。就唔會知道其實 enterprise 嘅 application 好多時都好精雕細琢，即係例如咧佢個 licensing 嘅 scheme 就係跟幾多個 CPU core 就跟 core 啦，咁啊冇得斟酌啊喎 vCPU 嚟嘅喎，咁佢冇得咁樣行，咁所以咧好多時能夠做到一個 flexibility 嘅 option 咧，對於個 migration 嚟講係好重要，要跟翻佢哋而家個 licensing 嘅 scheme 同埋 arrangement。咁所以呢一 part 就係其中一個我哋見到佢做得好好，同埋係一個好有我哋對佢好有期望嘅一部分。Google Cloud 其實都經歷過好多改動。今年其實其中一個最大嘅改動咧就係佢哋個 CEO 轉咗人，由Diane Green 即係上一手嘅 CEO 一位女士轉咗做而家一位叫做 Thomas Kurian。咁唔知大家有冇睇過 Diane Green 嘅直播啊或者 section 啊？佢係一個好中意睇稿嘅人嚟嘅，咁有佢成日喺度睇喺度企喺度讀啲呢方面。咁 Thomas Kurian 係一個點樣嘅新 CEO 就係咁我知可能做個 presentation 4個字5個字，咁要睇下稿啊，一般佢做半粒鐘1粒鐘咧係唔需要字幕機，佢對 Google 嘅產品嘅熟悉程度咧係相當之高。咁佢喺邊度嚟咧？佢本身係來自 Oracle。咁佢喺 Oracle 嗰度，其實我相信佢個 role 就係咧 study 對手嘅 characteristic。咁所以佢屬 Google 嘅 product 嘅程度咧，比起好多人想象高。因為喺Google Next 嘅第一日，佢俾 keynote 嘅時候咧，其實佢應該只係上任咗60幾日左右嘅。咁一個60幾日上任嘅 Google 啦，即係對產品有幾熟悉，其實應該相當有客人本身嗰個期望。咁但係相當之幾失望，同埋同 enterprise 嘅 relationship， 相信亦都係佢由 Oracle 嘅時代帶來嘅效果嚟，因為佢只係用咗咁短嘅時間就可以同到咁多 traditional 嘅 provider 就 build up 到咁深嘅 relationship， 係幾 impressive 嘅事嚟。咁所以呢一 part 我哋相信會係做得唔錯。咁另外後少少一 part 就係Google 雖然佢哋自己係一個行得好前嘅 data innovator， 但係我哋睇到佢做緊好多嘢咧。就係嘗試將呢啲咁樣嘅 rocket science 或者一啲離晒地嘅嘢，嘗試帶俾好多 generic 嘅 business user， 或者係一啲叫做入門少少嘅 data user， 可能係 SQL engineer 或者係啲普通嘅 programmer 或者 analyst， 有好多唔同嘅產品可以幫到，其中可能係 data fusion 啦，頭先講過，做一個好 graphical 界面就可以幫到大家去做好多 data 上面嘅嘢，你可以真係將啲 data 去做扭嚟扭去啦，改 field 啦 ，enrichment， 即係例如你原本個 data 得啲 IP， 你想加啲國家入去咁樣，咁好多呢啲咁嘅動作，如果你係由 Python 或者 R 或者其他 program 底學起，到你做得到咧，可能都要一段時間。咁但係咧 data fusion 就可以俾大家一段好短嘅時間，好短好平嘅 learning curve， 好快就可以用到呢啲咁嘅 tools。咁另外就好重要嘅一 part 就係 BigQuery。BigQuery 喺市場上其實有好大嘅優勢，即係暫時嚟講，可能好多 user 淨係攞佢做 data warehousing， 就係你會將可能成千上百萬、上千萬行嘅 data 擺入去，之後純粹就覺得佢 search 嘢 search 得好快，或者行你學 SQL 行得好快。佢準備會幫大家做更加多嘢，即係例如頭先講過啦 ，build machine learning 嘅 model 啦，甚至乎可以行到一啲嚟 production 先用嘅 model。另外佢同其他產品嘅 integration 就令到佢更加有意義，例如包括頭先講過嗰個 business intelligence engine 咧，就可以令到佢嘅存取由本身可能20幾秒一條 SQL， 可能因為全部行晒 in memory， 就最後你嗰個喺個 dashboard 度可能只需要轉一轉個 parameter， 佢可以斷秒咁去 feedback 到個 result 俾你。咁所以 BigQuery 就可以令到大家嚟緊喺個 usage 上就可以好快、好簡單咁去行到去一個 data science 嘅領域。以前好多人會覺得AI 或者 machine learning 有啲好遙不可及嘅嘢，但係實際上今日基本上每一個 application 如果冇一個某程度上嘅 AI 存在咧，可能你會覺得佢唔係好 make sense。因為記得有個產品叫 iPod Shuffle， 以前 Apple 嗰個產品，其實未有呢個產品之前咧，其實我冇感覺今日咧，你要攞個 music app 出嚟撳 Shuffle 嗰粒掣，其實你會期望有咩事發生。佢仲咁啊！如果以個 program 角度，咪應該 random 嗰啲歌咯，咁即係順住播咯。但其實大家唔係咁諗。你雖然你而家咁答，但係你其實你期望你撳 shuffle 嗰粒掣就係唔知點解佢會順住次序，完全猜到我嘅心意，咁將我想聽嘅歌順住次序，順住我個 mood 啱時間咁播俾我聽。呢個就係你真正期望嘅發生嘅事嚟。但係你唔會講出嚟嘅。作為一個 user， 你覺得好理所當然，我撳 shuffle 嗰粒掣就有首我中意聽嘅歌就。但係點解會發生到咧？就有好多 machine learning 同 AI 嘅事喺背後發生緊，我哋唔需要知，但係我哋已經享受緊呢件事。咁所以呢啲咁樣嘅 workload 就唔可以再係即係唔係再一個 luxury， 但每一個 application 如果想要生存，想要繼續存在，可能都需要嘅嘢。咁佢其中一 part 就可以令到 data scientist 做或者係 machine learning 嘅 engineer 做得開心啲，就係一啲叫做 zero ops 嘅 model training。以往大家做 model training 做 deployment 就真係要scientist 寫好科學咁寫好咗個 model 之後，都仲要揾個 infra 嘅 engineer 或者係揾一個叫做真係識 data 嘅人，就點樣將佢擺上 production， 點樣行啲叫做 data pipeline 定期 update 住個 model。去防止一啲叫做 data surfing 嘅 group， 即係我 train 嘅 data 咧就用1月至3月，但係咧如果我應付4月嘅要求就應付唔到，因為你今日撳 shuffle 同你3個月之前撳 shuffle 嗰時，你諗嘅嘢係有少少唔同，嗰啲 data 亦都唔準。咁所以Google 就做咗呢樣嘢，就係佢哋叫做一啲叫 zero ops 嘅 model， 就可以方便大家做到一啲 one click 嘅 deployment， 即係例如我只需要將我個 notebook 改緊1-2行 code， 咁我個 training 嘅動作咧就會由我而家 local 個 notebook 走咗入去 Google 嘅 cloud 嘅叫做 machine learning 嘅 engine， 幫我做一啲叫做 parallel 嘅 training， 我就唔需要喺個 local 嘅 environment 度做 training。咁另外 AI Hub 同埋 AI Platform 都係一個相當之有遠見嘅 option， 就係喺未有 Play Store、未有類似嘅 service， 大家揾一個 application 其實唔係咁容易。可能大家而家用慣咗、用熟咗，覺得好正常嘅。但係10幾年前，大家都仲係用緊個網頁去 search 一啲嘢，之後 download 落自己部 PC， 再過落自己個電話去裝起個 app。其實今日AI 某程度上都有類似咁樣嘅環境。我要揾一個 open box 嘅 model。其實唔係咁簡單嘅，當然咧有好多有好多前人做咗好多功夫，例如我只需要喺個 Python 度我load 一個 library 入去我就可能有一啲 standard 嘅 model， 好方便咁我都去 train。咁但係如果我哋講緊係一啲好複雜嘅 model， 例如 Google build 嘅一啲可能一啲唔同嘅 solution， 可能 AlexNet 咁樣，我唔係隨便就可以突然間喺我個 library 嗰度 load 到出嚟。我可能要特登就唔知去某一個地方睇完某份 paper， 跟住又唔知點解submit咗個人資料之後就 download 咗份嘢，上面就有條 link， 又指咗我唔知咩地方，經常就會發生啲咁樣嘅嘢。咁 AI Hub 就可以做到一個好可靠嘅地方嘅。我哋可以做到一個叫 peering review， 即係曾經有一個或以上嘅 data scientist 用過呢個 model， 佢嘅睇法係點？佢覺得呢個 model 有冇效，對大家嚟講就係一個好重要嘅指標。其他 cloud 基本上都有嘗試做 similar， 但係喺 Google Cloud 上面想做嘅嘢就係 呢個平台俾大家一齊去用，即係你哋整完一啲嘢擺上去一齊 share， 或者你作為一個 user， 你只需要可能俾一個合理嘅 fraction of money， 你就可以用到人哋 develop 嘅嘢。咁呢樣嘢係 Google Cloud 幾獨特有嘅嘢嚟。咁所以希望大家可以嘗試下用呢樣嘢，睇下有冇辦法幫到大家喺將來度做到多少少 innovation， 用一個更加簡單嘅方法、更加直接嘅方法，可以做到呢啲咁樣嘅 information。咁其實今日我哋準備嘅 content 就係咁多啦。咁我想睇下大家有冇啲咩 question 啊，或者有冇啲乜嘢有興趣想知嘅嘢，我哋可以分享多少少啦。咁阿 James 亦都再準備咗多少少禮物，希望大家有個啲問題。冇所謂，其實係咪真係有人唔識聽廣東話嘅？冇㗎。我再一次用廣東話問，唔好意思。
你要唔同嘅語言問一次先。就係唔識聽廣東話，所以佢就唔識反應俾你嘛。
哦，係喎。
佢呢句最問嘅先得啦。
啊。Anything? You raise your hand, okay? What's the question?
真係冇乜我其實我聽先我話 Google I/O， 即係 Google Cloud 佢哋好似 compare to AWS 嗰啲係比較係 support 一啲即係 analytics part 嗰啲東西。咁即係啱都係有講即係 compare to AWS 啊，有咩 Google Cloud 有我倒翻轉講啦，你由起上嚟佢有咩？
我會形容喺 Google 嘅 data platform 上面咧，相對嚟講佢應該係最完整嗰個。頭先阿 James 都有 mention 到一個好有趣嘅 point， 就係咧Google Analytics 呢樣嘢。其實我哋今時今日generate 即係喺cloud 上面 generate 出嚟嘅 data 量，近呢2年嘅 data 應該已經多過晒人類有歷史以嚟嘅 data 啦，已經係。咁其中一個最主要嘅 web data 來源就係 log 同 analytics。咁呢兩個都係一個好有趣嘅資料來源，亦都有好多 insight 可以 generate 到嘅地方。無論你用邊間 cloud 都好，例如你用 AWS 或者 Azure，somehow 你都要諗辦法點樣 ingest 呢啲 data 入嚟。Google Cloud 上面有2個好重要嘅嘢，我覺得好值得大家去研究啊。其中一個好重要嘅 service 叫做 Cloud PubSub， 最全名嘅叫做 Publish and Subscriber 呢個 service。咁點解有 Cloud PubSub 嘅存在咧？其實Apache 有一個好 similar 嘅 tools 叫做 Kafka。咁其實呢個 tool 都出現咗一段時間，就係 Google 發現咗一啲佢嘅 limitation， 佢覺得唔夠用。佢再去開發一個更加大、更加 scalable 嘅 service。咁 Cloud PubSub 係設計俾一個咩 scale 嘅 app 用？佢係設計俾啲類似係 YouTube 啊，或者係 Gmail 啊呢類型咁樣，我哋叫做 planet scale 嘅 application 去用。咁我相信大家應該唔會隨手咁開發到一個 application 係多過 YouTube 用嘅，我估計。即係個 user base 其實係一定冇佢咁多。Amazon、Microsoft。無論佢哋嘅原本嘅 business 有幾大都好，即係去 Amazon.com 嘅同 YouTube.com 比冇得比，因為 YouTube.com 可能 any minutes right now 可能講緊有8個 gigabit per second 嘅 traffic，sorry 8個 terabyte per second 嘅 data 不停喺度 stream 緊住，可能有上千萬、上億個 traffic 嘅 asset 喺度。無論 Amazon.com 個 e-commerce 嘅 solution 有幾受歡迎，都唔會有咁樣嘅量嘅人。所以會引發出嚟嘅結果係咩咧？就係、其實好多 data 嘅來源本身咧，都係需要依存住 Google。例如，如果我係一個enterprise owner 咧，我會喺 YouTube 上面 set up 一個 channel 咧，我會喺 Google Analytics 嗰度去做一啲 checking 咧，我想睇下我哋 user 到底做緊啲乜嘢。我會有機會用Cloud PubSub 去嘗試去create 啲 timestamp 咧，例如唔同類型嘅audio streaming platform， 可能類似係 Spotify 啊，或者佢哋都係用緊 Cloud PubSub 呢個 service 去嘗試 lock down 到底我嘅 user 嘅 behaviour， 可能好似 text stream， 佢幾時撳咗下 next 啊，佢幾時離開呢個 menu 啊，佢幾時 browse through 我每一個 page， 到底 browse through 係做緊啲咩嘢？ 咁呢啲咁樣嘅 service 咧，做得最好嗰家就係 Google 真係。咁所以喺唔同類型嘅 data 嘅 solution 上面，我哋都會認為 Google 有佢自己一套好獨特嘅 solution 可以幫到大家。佢甚至乎會比起大家今日 open source 揾到嘅 solution 做得更加好，因為佢要解決一啲 open source 解決唔到嘅問題。例如你唔會有任何一個人遇過 YouTube.com 遇到嘅問題，因為我哋從來冇人去過佢個 scale。咁所以呢個係其中一 part， 我哋會形容一個叫做 technology advancement， 就係因為佢解決過一啲我哋解決唔到嘅問題。第二個就係個 data 嘅 originality， 就係一開始好多嘅 web-based 嘅 data 都係來自 Google， 例如大家喺 internet， 大家個 internet 好似上唔到嗰一刻，大家會做啲咩？就係去 Google.com work 就應該個地球仲 work 緊嘅，大家相信係咪先？咁啊，因為Google 冧咗，其實應該大家咩都唔使做啊，我咩都去唔到，我唔知個 website 喺邊嘅大家。咁所以Google Search 本身Google Search、Google Analytics 啦，或者好多 public 嘅 data source 其實都係來自 Google。最受歡迎嘅 tool 頭先有講過 BigQuery 本身，佢本身都有超過100個multi-terabyte 嘅 data set 嘅 public data set 俾大家用。咁佢本身個設計就係預咗大家可以將自己嘅 big data 嘅 workload integrate 入去，即係無論係你自己 gen 嘅 data 或者係 Google Service 嘅 data。如果你係一個 Google Analytics 嘅 user， 你只需要揀一個 click， 即係 click on Google Analytics data goes to BigQuery， 咁你嘅所有嘅 Analytics 上面行嘅 workload 上面嘅 log， 你就可以好簡單、好方便咁喺上面攞到落嚟。咁呢啲係其他 cloud 冇辦法提供得到嘅嘢。至於例如頭先你講 Analytics 係咪就係得 Google 做嘅？其實都唔係嘅，其實都有其他 provider 做緊嘅。咁但係最受歡迎應該就係佢啦，同埋佢有 free tier 啦，可能大家會容易啲去起手，容易啲去做到啦。咁去到後少少嘅就無論係啲 data science 上面嘅或者咩都好，今時今日講 cloud provider 真正 lead 緊個學術又好或者 technology 一定係 Google， 因為而家比較出名最出名3個 data scientist 即係叫做lead 緊個世界咧，就可能 Geoffrey Hinton 即係我哋叫做即係 father of neural network， 就喺 Google 做嘅。咁跟住比較出名 Ian Goodfellow 啦，喺 Facebook 做，咁就放咗 PyTorch 出嚟嗰個咧。咁呢啲咁樣嘅即係叫做 lead 住呢個世界嘅 data scientist 其實Microsoft 冇，AWS 冇。咁其實大部分嘅情況之下，佢哋都只係叫做嘗試 implement 一啲嘢去叫做 follow 翻個 industry standard。但係我哋睇到 Google 係 lead 緊個 standard 喺呢方面嘅 tools， 所以我會覺得即係我相當之建議大家無論你係啱啱開始又好啦，或者你係嘗試 migrate 一啲 data science 嘅 workload 去 Google 都好啦，即係去 cloud 都好啦。我覺得 Google 都係一個好好嘅選擇。
我可以講啲價錢。
價錢關於啲咩 ？OK， 其實咧我哋會睇個價錢係一個好重要嘅 factor 去 justify 大家去做 cloud migration 嘅呢個咁樣 initiative。咁好簡單啲咁講就係 Google 嘅 cloud 上面大部分嘅 service， 無論係 data 啦，或者係頭先我哋講 serverless 嘅嘢，佢哋大部分都會做緊一啲叫 pay as you go 嘅 pricing 嘅 scheme。咁所以真係好有彈性，即係例如let's say 頭先我 mention 過嘅，可能係唔同嘅 service 啦，可能 BigQuery 又好乜都好啦。其實如果你嘗試去睇佢個 pricing 嘅 structure， 其實大部分嘅時候都好簡單嘅。你嘅 storage cost 就例如我上面儲咗4T data， 咁可能啲4T 嘅 storage 就定期會 generate 咗個 price。之後我哋每行一次 query process 咗幾多 Mac 或者幾多 Gig 或者幾多 T 嘅 data， 佢又會另一個 cost structure。但係無論點都好，佢個 cost 一定會平過大家自己 operate 一個 data warehouse。或者如果用 machine learning 嘅 case 去講嘅，我自己如果要 own 一個 cluster 或者係一部 computer 去做 machine learning， 自己 own 一個 GPU， 自己去做 training， 我要嘅 cost 就唔單止係就咁去 run 嘅時間，我又要自己走去買嘅鐵，我又要自己買張 GPU， 自己搞保養，定期 定時定候又要去update 去改嘢。咁佢哋嘅 pricing model 就會用一啲叫做我哋叫做 training unit， 即係例如我 train 一個 model 有2000萬張相，我大概嘅 training hour 用一個 P90 嘅 CP 嘅 GPU去 train， 我要 train 1個鐘，咁佢就會計一啲叫 training unit 出嚟去做一個pricing 嘅結構，咁佢等到大家可以好清楚咁估算到底overall 我嘅 training 要幾多錢。另一個好有趣嘅 indicator 咧就係頭先都有 mention 過 AutoML 呢樣嘢。AutoML 咧甚至乎係有 free tier， 即係話大家可以嘗試下去AutoML 揀一個叫做free training 嘅 option 啦。咁佢就會嘗試幫大家個 model run 一個好短嘅時間，即係例如咧即如果我想好完美地 tune 好我個 model， 我大概要10個鐘啦。但係咧聽AutoML 可以用佢哋嘗試 train 個 model 嚟咧，佢好 best effort 咁幫你 train 10分鐘，睇下個 result 係點樣。咁所以喺佢哋唔同嘅 service offering 上邊咧，其實有唔同嘅 pricing 嘅結構。咁所以我哋通常如果喺我哋作為 cloud partner 嘅情況之下，我哋就會同我哋唔同嘅 customer 去傾，就睇下佢哋今日個machine learning 嘅 workflow 本身係點樣啦，到底一個點樣嘅 migration， 或者係 cloud computing， 到底係點樣先幫到佢，我哋所以先至可以真正咁答到到底個 pricing 係點樣呢個問題。但係通常一句到尾就係點都慳咗啦，即係聽到我都真係叫人解釋。Do we have a souvenir for the gentleman?
IoT
OK， 其實 IoT 嘅 service 咧喺 Google 上面咧都已經 ready 喺度，咁但係其實佢個分別同其他big data service 唔係好大，最主要其實佢就提供咗一個額外嘅 layer 就係一個叫做device management 嘅概念，即係例如你喺出面可能有200隻 dongle 或者200個 sensor 喺出面，每一個 sensor 可能有個 ID， 佢就可以幫你 manage。到後面嗰陣其實分別就唔大，因為其實 IoT 嘅 device 同其他 big data 嘅 device 佢哋不停喺度 emit 緊一啲 signal 出嚟，可能唔係好大嘅 signal 啦，可能有 IoT device 用 LoRa 嗰啲咁嘅 technology， 每粒 sensor 嚟裝喺個車轆上面detect 個氣壓，可能每分鐘佢可能會送一個 packet 上嚟4個 byte 咁樣先算，咁但係出面有4000萬嘅 sensor， 我哋要不停喺度 push 呢啲 data 上。咁其實其中一個IoT related service 其實就係 PubSub， 頭先我哋講過 Cloud PubSub， PUBSUB， 其實全名就係 Publisher Subscriber Relationship 嘅一個。咁其實佢係一個好有彈性嘅 service， 有好多用途嘅坦白講嘅。咁其中一個就可能係 for 一啲叫做smart device 或者係一啲 box 去嘗試呢一啲 signal 出嚟，跟住你會喺個 application 後啲嘅地方去有用。或者你純粹係上咗個 signal 之後，最後個 user 就係 BigQuery 就幫你儲起晒呢啲咁樣嘅 data， 或者用 cloud storage 純粹一行 raw data 儲起佢咁樣。咁喺 IoT 嘅應用上，其實佢都有好多唔同類型嘅 option， 例如近年可能大家開始聽得多一啲 edge computing 嘅嘢，即係例如我而家個 sensor 上到嚟，到底我應唔應該有個 alert send 去個 user 度，或者我應唔應該做啲咩 reaction 咧？咁有啲serverless computing 嘅 option 都開始有會可以適合，例如cloud functions 啦，或者係呢類型咁樣嘅 tools 都可以幫到大家去做到一啲IoT 嘅 solution。咁但係相反嚟講咧，其實佢就冇一個好 standalone 嘅 service。我哋有一個叫做 IoT solution， 跟住好 standalone 咁就全部有自己獨特嘅一套，反而就冇乜咁樣去撈呢樣嘢。但係如果你有 IoT 嘅 workload 喺 Google 上面行，其實冇問題。英文廣東話都得㗎，冇所謂。English or Cantonese is welcome. Japanese is not welcome. I don't know Japanese. Okay, maybe let's have some drinks and some food and enjoy the day. Thank you for coming. 多謝晒，今日天氣唔係咁好，大家都肯 show up， 真係多謝晒。咁啊，希望大家可以Jason 咪有啲嘢想講。
I'll keep speaking English. So please send us the feedback form. So this will always try to make our event more attractive and more fit your need. So we will really appreciate if you can fill out the form. And of course, in return, we will give you also a very small souvenir, other than the big bag, or be a CloudMile souvenir for you. And today's event is hosted by CloudMile, and actually we have another event. That event is actually hosted by Google. So if you are also interested for a whole day event, almost end of June, 9:30 to 5 p.m. So please register by this QR code, and this event is hosted by Google, so they will do the screening, and because every year the event is always packaged, so do register as soon as possible, and Google will respond to you to give you confirmation if you are on the list or on the shortlisted. Sorry, we are already full, etc., etc. So if you are interested, do register as soon as possible. I think Google will say, yeah, we get your confirmation, but stay tuned, we will give you the final confirmation later. Yeah. So that's all. I can also introduce Mandy at the end. Is our Hong Kong sales manager who can also sitting on Hua. So Mandy, myself, Joe, we are here, and we have more members joining our Hong Kong team. So yeah, have a chat with us, have some food, and